Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books. Happy New Year. I am here to review Seed to Dust, Life, Nature, in a Country Garden by Mark Hamer. This was our December pick for the Book Naturalist Book Club. This was my final read of 2021. I finished it last night at 11 p.m. and I have to say, this was the absolute perfect way for me to end last year. This year is 2022. It's last year. This book was gorgeous. It's just so quiet and gentle, and it's so deep and says so much, couched in nature, which you know I love. This is Mark Hamer is an estate gardener. He's in his early 60s and has worked for Miss Cashmere, a lady in her mid 80s, I guess, for over a dozen years, 15, I'm not sure the exact count, but a long time. And he just, in this book, he goes through the 12 months of the year and reflects on, things that happen in the garden with, his gardening and with nature itself, and then uses those things as a springboard to think back on, things that have gone on in his life and thoughts on Miss Cashmere. And it's just so meditative. I think that, as soon as I finished it, my immediate thought was to reread it, and that this would be a beautiful book to read over the course of the entire year, just in a very slow manner, month by month, and just kind of, think about the things that he's saying in here. Heidi from My Reading Life has posted her review, and it's really an excellent review, and she talks about some of the more concrete things that go on in this book. So I'm going to link that below and highly recommend that you check it out if you want to know more about this book. But for me, I think that I'm just going to flip the camera and leave you with some words from Mark Hamer. You see, I dog-eared quite a bit, and they're just speaking to me so much. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'm sure there'll be cat footage at the end, so check that out too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. So you see, it's a beautiful little book, gorgeous pen papers, and I showed you the woodcut illustrations, and each chapter is previewed, and there are some drawings inside as well. But anyway, let's see, let's just get started. Is this the first one? No. There is a pain in my left knee, deep, sharp, and sweet, the result of kneeling, lifting, twisting, cutting, or tearing something. Hard labor hurts, but pain is just another sensation, one of many, like hunger, love, or sex. I decide to focus on breathing in and out into the peace, into the silence, into the rhythm of breath and tread and flow, until there is bird song, the squeaky wheel of the heavy load, the clear sky, cool air, the million scents and textures underfoot, and nothing but awareness of each passing step. Sisyphus rolling his stone. And this was really neat. Like, he talks about aging in this book from time to time, and the bit about Sisyphus he had been discussing in the chapter, and later on too, I think. So he really makes excellent connections. And then obviously his children come up. In this distant cold, I think of my children who have chosen more complex lives than mine, and I worry for them briefly. This world is changing and will not be this way again. Am I the last of the simple ones? I tried to raise them to be free of hate and fear, of greed and envy, but they have chosen a world where those things are normal, and I hope they have the tools to make their way through. Perhaps they see me as somebody who hides from that world, but at the end of my life, I will be as happy and content as I am now. I do not see them often. The kids have grown and gone and are content. They come back when they're not, and then leave again, feeling supported. That is how it should be. I am no Lear. Their relationship with their partners is and should be far more important now than their relationship with me. My job while it lasts is to pick them up when they fall and send them off like swifts back up to their lives. And he talks about swifts a lot in this book too. Sweet little birds. This one, he's interacting with his wife, which is another beautiful theme in this book. Today, no gardening can be done. Later, we paint the walls and stack the bookshelves that I built for her last weekend, and I am enjoying the fuss and the fluster as she plans what books should go where and how she chooses. I don't understand why she organizes them in the way she does, but it makes her happy to have the books in a particular order. Novels here, reference here, books to read here, books she loves here, and I wonder what that says about the other novels that she keeps and doesn't love and are not used for reference. I prefer my books chaotic. We have separate bookshelves, and I get rid of books I don't love. I want to be distracted by something I hadn't thought of when I'm looking for something. I crave random encounters in my ordered seasonal life, but only as far as books and nature are concerned. Random encounters with people are something I try to avoid. I am clumsy and often misunderstand the purpose of talking with others. Books, obviously, and his being uncomfortable around other people is another theme in here. I feel sun on my back as the clouds break. A blackbird sings. The plum blossom is open pink and white and hangs in weighty clouds from the end of a knotty stem that spring from cracked branches with splitting bark on timeless trees with the look of centuries. A fixed broken state of perfection. The leaves of the crab apples are about to open, their folded tips bright red against the gray of the sky and the darkness of the bark. As I sail through this aging and new blossom blooming, I feel that it is good, so very good, to be cracked and mossy and calm and solid in the center of this maelstrom of nature, swirling by day, by hour, and by minute. I have the time to watch it now. Youth has no time. It is rushing headlong into its own future. But I can put the brakes on and watch the world slip by. The better I watch it, the slower it goes. I can walk and feel and sniff and taste the air, the sun, the frost as it flows across my skin and into me and out. I'm like a child catching moths. The moment is flighty and lands in my open palm and immediately flits away to make space for another, each as generous and kind as the last. A billion moths that each time leave as soon as I have seen them. I mean, so beautiful. All those fighters were people whose role in life was to keep the wheels turning until there was a war, and then go and fight in the war. They were educated and bred to be easy to manipulate by a government that would use the media it owned to flick the switch on their emotions and lead them to wherever they wanted them to be. Men rarely want freedom from the herd. It takes more courage not to follow than the herd can ever imagine. You cannot tell a man to fight, but you can make him want to fight. I never wanted to fight. I remembered my father watching the boxing on the television and seeing the bow-tied cigar-smoking men in the audience. I was struck with the idea that when men fight other men, men who are not fighting are the ones to benefit. Some of the men I grew up with stayed angry, ended up dead or in prison, or hurting people, never able to find peace. We were all deliberately sown with seeds of fear and hatred, but I choose not to water mine. I leave those seeds in arid ground. the racist, xenophobic, sexist, homophobic beliefs that I grew up surrounded by. I will not give them my attention, will not allow them to take root in me. I'm always learning to spot them and send them back to the depths when they show themselves, which they do from time to time. See what I'm saying? This book is just so deep. This is again about his wife. Beautiful, beautiful. I love her again, and now again, and then again. With each moment, I become new, and each moment she too is new. So I begin each day from scratch with forgiveness. There is no debt. I rip yesterday's pages from the account book and throw them into the wind. Forgiveness is the only answer. I forgive her for not being perfect, and she forgives me for not being perfect, and all that is left is love. We become heroes instead of cowards. Oh. Oh, here it is. This is very me. I prefer the weeds and self-seeded plants that grow where they will. The aquilacea and daisies, the poppies, the dandelions, and foxgloves. Although I grow and pamper the roses, they are not for me. The plants that I grow for me are tucked away in corners in my sweet, mad little plots, and often just where they landed. There's one at the bottom. I'll have to find that one in a minute. Oh, no, we got to end with this one. Let me find the bottom one real quick. Sorry. You know, the old eyes. This one is just awesome. Great quote. The weather forecast is the only news I listen to these days. I live the life of a happy idiot. I mean, not completely, but there's wisdom there. And then I'll end with this one. I'm not a country person. I do not have a country. Oh no, this is not I missed one. I do. Oh no. This one. No, that's not it either. Okay, I wasn't as confused as I thought I was. I should have just kept going. So anyway, this one really resonates with me as an ESL teacher. It almost brought me to tears. I think I did tear up, honestly. I am not a country person. I do not have a country. The languages I can hear from where I sit writing are just a few of the languages of the world. The people speak 3 that I can make out. I can hear the birds speak another 4. The tower bell speaks another. I understand some of these calls. Others are music played on a different instrument from my own. They sing the songs of the morning. Language comes from place. It is the most powerful thing that displaced people have that is their own. Until the 1940s, schools here in Wales had a practice of punishing children who spoke the language of their home, their parents, and family. A child heard speaking Welsh to his friends or brothers or sisters in the playground or classroom would have to wear on a string around his or her neck a wooden plaque with the letters WN carved in it. He would be encouraged to listen out for another child speaking Welsh, who would then have to wear the Welsh knot until another child was heard. Whoever was wearing the plaque at the end of the day would be flogged by the teacher. There are many tales of brothers asking their excitable, playful sisters in Welsh to hand them the Welsh knot at the end of the day to save their sisters from a caning. It is still very much a living memory here. The old people remember wearing it and find it difficult to trust the English. I'm a gypsy, a heathen, an anarchist without a square mile of my own to protect. So nobody trusts me anyway. The language is growing back again, strong and prouder than ever after being pruned to its roots. And although I don't understand a lot of it, I love to hear it pass my door. a living thing. We don't need to understand in order to love. I mean, seriously. So true. And this is the last one. I lean over, pull the cord, and restart the lawnmower, cutting past a patch of red corn poppies. The field of poppies and mixed wildflowers is astonishing. They suck the oxygen from my lungs and force me to let go of the mower, let it sleep while I stand and look. I'm catatonic, paralyzed, open-eyed, and absorbing it. They are all the peoples of the world aging together. The brows and pink and red and yellow people, the tall and short, the fat and thin, the gay and straight, the Catholics and Muslims, the fancy and the simple, and all the spectrums in between, all using similar nutrients, all breathing the same air, drinking the same water. I feel okay about forgetting their names, for labels are such temporary things and rarely capture the enormity of the thing they try to catalog. If you are interested in any of that I read, this book is for you. I mean, I love it so much. Hugs, Joe. So funny. I got a double. What do you think, Mama? You feel relaxed? Oh my goodness. I'm part of the cuddle puddle. It's so cute. Look at us all sitting here so cozy together. I mean, it's not quite a cuddle puddle, but pretty darn close, right, Chickie?
Kill 10,000 enemies. God.
Remember being helpful? Boo-boo. She's not moving, is she?
Was I still the only server up?
Oh, happy day. Frosted sugar cookie. Blueberry muffin. Pumpkin pecan upside down cake. And my muffins, my prized possession. 2 carrot cakes, Mexican chocolate, and almond. Oh! I had to go ahead and show you because, you know, I gotta eat some in the car. I mean, Happy New Year to me, right?